Assalamualaikum. So this is the video lecture for week 6 to week 7, which is the books of prime M3. And this topic is particularly important when you want to do your assignment, which you have to prepare your journals and then transfer the balance to the ledger, and then lastly transfer the balance of the ledger into the trial balance. Okay, so these are the accounting cycles that we have covered in the previous video lecture. So in this chapter, we're going to look at the source document and how do we record the document into the journal, and then transfer the balance to the ledger, and lastly prepare the trial balance. There are many types of source document an owner can refer to in order to record of the transaction. Among the most common source documents are invoices, receipts, payment voucher or cash bills, bank statements or check counterfoil, or any types of agreements such as loan agreement, rental agreement or hire purchase agreement. Okay, so for invoices, these are the document issued or received when the business purchases or sells goods on credit basis. So you only issue these invoices when it pertains to the sales or the purchase of your inventory. Receipts, these are issued as proof of payment for any type of transaction. It can be the purchase or the sales of goods, or whenever you want to pay off any kind of your expenses, you're going to receive receipts in return. For payment voucher or cash bill, these are prepared when there is any transaction that involves cash basis. Okay, whenever you want to pay salary on cash basis, you issue payment voucher. Whenever you want to pay repairs on cash basis, you issue cash bills, so on and so forth. So bank statements or check counterfoil, these are the documents to prove any payment or receipt involved with bank transactions. So let's see at the examples of invoices. So these are the example of invoice. Okay, the most important thing that you need to take note is the address here. Okay, the address here. Okay, so if you are the one who issued the invoice, make sure the business address is on top of the invoices, and bill to must be on the bottom, to whom you are issuing. Okay, but if you receive the invoice from your supplier, then your address will be at the bottom of the invoice, and the supplier address must be at the top of the invoice. And if you receive the invoice, this shall be the original. But if you issue the invoice, the invoice that you have in your possession will be the copy one, right? Okay, and next one is the example of receipts. I think I don't need to introduce to you receipt, because you've already seen this whenever you purchase something from your shops or from any kind of shopping center. For payment voucher or cash bill, so this is the payment voucher. And this is the example of cash bill, right? You just say with the mode of payment, by bank or check or anything at all, and you tell me what is the purpose of the payment being made. Yeah, the purpose must be here, and who approve it? It must be the owner itself and the signature of the owner. Okay, the same goes for your cash bill. Okay, this is must be your company here, and this is the whomever that you paid for the cash bill. Okay, and then you detail out what are the transactions that you pay for your cash bill, and then you put up the signature. For the bank statement, these are the example of bank statement. There must be the name of the bank itself, and the ending statement must be at the end of your accounting period. Alright, and these are the lists of all of the transactions that you have made via your bank account. Okay, and this is the example of check. The the torn part here is what we call as a counterfoil, ataupun dalam bahasa Melayu keratan cek. So the check once it will be issued to whomever that you want to pay. Awak akan bagi check awak kepada orang lain. Jadi yang ada dalam possession awak, the one that is in your possession is only the check counterfoil. So check counterfoil will show you how much you have issued in terms of checks. This is the example of loan agreement. So if you have a motor vehicle or if you purchase building, so you must have some sort of loan agreement as part of your source document. Okay. So this is the format of journal entries. You can see this in your textbook as well. Yeah? So we start off with sales and purchase journal. So they are used to record all transactions that involve credit sales and credit purchases, only for credit sales and purchases. So the journal will look like this, where it's just a list of transactions. It's just a list of transactions. The list of debtors and the debtors and your creditors. Okay, list of your debtors and the list of your creditors. And then you have the total here will be at the end of your accounting period. For in this case, it will be on January 30th. So I have two debtors during the month. I have Ali Enterprise. You just put any kind of invoice number that you have based on your source document that you have prepared previously. The reference here refers to which ledger that you're going to post after this. So I put that sales ledger. Put there the amount 10,000 ringgit, and for Abu is 2,450. So the total credit sales that I have during the month was 12,450. So the same goes for the purchase journal. The number invoice are the one that the supplier issued to you. You go back to your purchase invoice and see what's the invoice number on the top of the invoice document. And the reference here will be on the purchase ledger. Sebab nanti kita akan transfer ke purchase ledger. And then you have a total credit purchases of 24,200. Next is the sales return and purchase return journal. So you have, let's say that Ali has returned 200 worth of goods. So the reference will be on the sales return ledger. So at the end of the month, you have the 350 total of sales returned. For the purchase return journal, you have 1,200. Okay, so the format for purchase sales journal is similar to sales return and purchase return journal. It's just a list of your debtors and your creditors. Okay, so these are the sales receipt, cash receipt journal and the cash payment journal, right? So unlike purchase journal, you have four columns here that I want you to have. For the cash receipt journal is to record all kind of receipt, bank or cash. For payment, to record all kind of payments you made via cash or banks. And there are two columns here to distinguish whether you pay through cash or whether you receive through cash or you receive through bank. For example, that on the 1st January, I have made a contra transaction where I take out my cash, and I put it in the bank. So the item here will be on, you take out the cash and then you put it where? You put it on the bank. And then from the bank, where does the bank got this money? From the cash. And then the capital, if there's a capital injection, you put it there. And then you have a sales cash sales. So cash sales, put it here under the cash. And then you also put it the same figure under the sales, because I want to know what is my total cash sales at the end of the 30th January. Okay. And then when Ali pays us back, he only pays us back 8,800 because we have given him a discount allowed or sales discount by 1,000. And then you total everything up. So now we have already 6 journal. Kita ada sales journal, purchase journal, kita ada sales return, and purchase return journal. Kita ada cash receipt journal dengan cash payment journal. And the 7th journal would be the general journal to record all transactions that are not in purchase journal, sales journal, purchase return journal, sales return journal, cash payment journal, and the cash receipt journal. So yang lain-lain tu awak lambakkan semua dalam general journal. So dalam general journal formatnya berbeza. Kita ada kolom debit dengan kolom credit. So contohnya bila kita ada capital contributed into cash, kita debit cash, kita credit capital. Kalau anda katalah Januari 14 kita ada drawing. Kan? Ini kan kalau drawing tak boleh masuk dalam purchase, sales, purchase return, sales return, cash payment, cash receipt tak boleh masuk. Jadi awak masuk dalam general journal, awak debitkan drawing 2,000, creditkan purchases. And then you put some sort of narration here. Letaklah apa-apa ayat pun untuk menceritakan apa benda yang telah berlaku sekarang ni. Order to good for personal use 22,000. Okay, and then we want to transfer the balance of the ledger into the balance of the journal into the ledger. So if you see here in my sales account, instead of individual debtors, I have put the total credit sales 12450 and total cash sales of 4,500. Saya tak letakkan individu punya debtors ya, saya letakkan total yang saya ambil direct daripada sales journal. Sama juga untuk purchase journal, saya ambilkan direct daripada purchase journal jumlahnya. Kemudian total cash purchase journal daripada cash receipt, cash payment journal. Tapi bila kita buka, bila kita nak kawankan dia, nak debitkan dia, make sure you open the individual account receivable, iaitu Ali, Abu, kalau ni lihat Bala, Baharin, kita buka individual sebab kita nak tahu. Sebab lain-lain account receivable, lain-lain dia punya transaction. Contohnya macam Ali, dia ada sales return. Okay, sales return sebanyak RM200. Okay, and then you just put it here, and then awak kawankan dengan sales return ledger dekat sebelah nanti saya tunjuk kat awak. Okay, bank pun, and then ada sales discount, betul jangan lupa kawankan dia dengan sales discount account. Okay, macam itulah. Macam biasa lah ya, and untuk cash, awak tengok ya, cash macam biasa, kita ambil satu-satu daripada cash payment dengan cash receipt journal. Sama macam bank pun, ambil satu daripada cash payment journal dengan cash receipt journal. Okay, untuk sales return journal, tengok saya ambil nilai total sales return dengan total purchase return. Okay, and then drawing, debitkan, creditkan, salary dengan capital account. Kemudian, awak tutup account awak. Kemudian awak akan dapat trial balance untuk 30 Januari dan imbangkan sepatutnya. Macam biasalah. Just like what you have done in the previous slides. So that's how you prepare journal to be transferred to the ledger. So that's the end of this week's lecture. Thank you very much.